Okay, we're going to talk tonight, they tell me about ultrasound, so I
Yeah.
suppose I have to first ask you what ultrasound is.
What is ultrasound? Well, ultrasound is what its name suggests, I suppose, ultra-high frequency sound. Normal sound that we can hear operates up to about, I don't know, 10,000 cycles per second. Ultrasound goes to 10 to 100 million cycles
Is
per
this
second.
like what they say dogs can hear a high
It's like a super special dog whistle, yeah. It's
Yeah.
even higher than that. But we can't hear it, but it's little tiny vibrations.
And what do you do with it?
What you do with it, it's been used a lot in medicine, medical research, because it's one of those devices, a bit like X-rays, but less dangerous, that let you look inside bodies and do things like look at young children. I've got a picture, actually, just down here of one of my good friends. In fact, I had dinner at her place tonight. This is Shirley's stomach here. Where do I get my pointer? See, I didn't even use the pointer.
Here, I'll hold it.
This is Shirley lying down, and this is the top of her stomach. And this is her, I think it's about 7-month-old little Nadia sitting in there. And there you can see her skull there, and the little teeth developing, and the jaw. And down here's her back, and there's her arm coming down around here.
So you got how did you get that picture with sound?
That picture's been done by scanning an ultrasonic beam backwards and forwards across her whole body, very fast, and producing an image just like a TV picture of the intensity of the sound that's reflected back to a receiver. And that's pretty much what we use in the systems I'll talk about tonight. This is a demonstration again of the system that we're using in the eels. What we have here is a blood vessel, and here's some little red blood cells chugging along, and we have a little chugging along, yeah. Well, that's a good point, because I was going to say that this system works on what's called the Doppler principle. And if I said it works on the Doppler principle, no one would know what I was talking about.
Right.
But chugging along reminds me of trains, and if you're ever travelling in a train, zipping along at, say, 60 miles an hour, and you go past a level crossing, you hear the bell go clang, 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 disappears. The faster you go, the bigger the difference in that sound. So if you're going very fast, it'll go clang, 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 clang. Okay, that difference in sound. Now, picture the red blood cells as small trains.
David, I got to tell you, I don't understand any of that.
Okay.
Wait, you mean when you're going past the bell?
Yeah, you've been past a
You mean it goes like
bell,
ding, 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 ding,
and it changes, it drops down a tone as
Right.
it goes past.
Well, as you
Now,
go past it.
That change in tone
Yeah.
is directly proportional to the speed of the train, it turns out. And we can use the same principle to get a shift in ultrasound frequency to tell us how fast the blood cells are moving inside this vessel.
So the sound bounces off the red blood cells.
The sound bounces off from
and
one of
tells
these
you how fast they're moving through the bloodstream.
bloodstream. That's
Ah, now I have a better idea
So
what
we
you're
get
talking
inside the animal and we look, without actually invading the blood vessels, we can get inside and have a look at how fast the blood's going in different parts of the body.
Now, can I ask you another question?
Sure.
Why do we want to know this?
Shoot. Why do we want to know this? That's a pretty good question.
I thought so.
Yeah, well, as I... It's really a very good question. The answer... And I could sort of fob you off with a whole bunch of highfalutin answers.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't want you to do that.
I'm not going to do. The answer is that we're really in the business of writing up-to-date biology books. We're trying to understand how we fit into the biological scheme of things, you know?
Right. So it's to find out how they work, is
It's
what
to
you're saying.
find out how these animals work. I gave a seminar last year down at one of our medical research institutes. I won't name it. But these people who are top-notch cardiovascular physiologists were very surprised when I told them that toads and eels have blood pressure. Now, that didn't surprise me at all, because I've been measuring it for the last 10 years.
Well, they always use terms like cold-blooded animals with
That's
those.
right, and people generally, even these experts, don't necessarily think of these eels and toads as having sort of highly developed systems such as we have.
Yeah.
Now, I think we're putting ourselves into a broader perspective. These animals have got very well-controlled blood pressure.
Okay, well, we brought you a whole laboratory in here, I think.
thought I'd bring the
or
whole
at least
show
it
in
looks
and,
like it, anyhow. Come on, we'll take a look here.
I spend a lot of my time behind this machine, or at least one of my students
You stay over
does.
here. I'll get around the back so I can talk to you.
Sure. Look, let's start over here with
Now,
this
first,
whole
I think
deal.
people should understand that, David, the first time you came to our attention was because you worked with eels and toads.
That's right, yes.
And you brought those in, cane toads and eels and those kind of things.
I've done, I guess, 10 years research on various aspects of breathing and blood pressure control in these
Are
animals.
these the same eels that go across the land up in Queensland?
Yeah, the same short-finned eels, yeah.
Right. Okay, now
What
what
I
do you
did-
do with this? It's got wires in it.
What I did yesterday was do about a 2-hour operation in which I implanted a tiny device just like this one, a little tiny ultrasonic cuff like the one in the diagram. So I put this little cuff inside the animal, around a blood vessel, and then stitched the animal up and let him recover from the anaesthetic. Of course, he wouldn't want to be unanaesthetised.
Right.
And he's recovered. He's obviously quite happy here. If I touch him,
awake?
he's well and truly awake.
Okay.
And this cuff is now producing a signal over here on the machine, which, if I turn it on, should produce a sound which is in fact his heart beating, the blood flow rushing out of his heart.
Is that the thing? Wow.
That swishing sound? Yeah. I might blow the audio guy's brains. I'll turn it up a little bit. There we go.
It's that feedback.
There's a bit of noise in here from somewhere. It might be the lights are giving us some hum. If I touch the eel, you'll find he stops his heartbeat completely, and his heart will stop for maybe 10 seconds.
Well, we can't hear that very well because of all that interference. What is that
We've got a
from?
lot of interference here from somewhere. There's so many wires at the back there, they're probably pulling a little
Is
loose.
it supposed to be unplugged?
Never mind. No, yeah, that's supposed to be unplugged. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's give that one a miss, and I'll show you an experiment that I did. Maybe
Is it less noisy than this one?
it's totally silent, in fact.
Okay.
Yeah, look, I recorded this experiment about 3 weeks ago on tape. All of the experiments come up through the wires in the back of the machine, and if I hit that button, and this one will in fact see an experiment coming out. This is 3 weeks ago, now coming back onto the chart.
So the sound is on that tape, we don't hear it.
That's right. Yeah, we
But
can't
it's
hear it.
but it's coming out,
It's
translating
coming out
here.
into little movements of these pens. Let's just go through them in order. We've got pressure in his mouth here. That we had a tube in his mouth to record pressure there, which tells us when he breathes. And at the moment, he's not breathing. We'll see him start to breathe soon.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, they hold their breath. These eels hold their breath for 20 minutes at a time.
Oh, wow.
This is the blood pressure coming out of the heart, and this is blood pressure downstream from the gills up in his main artery to the body.
Right.
And this is the flow in that vessel, which I've got the cuff around in the other experiment there. He's supposed to start breathing. I'll just speed this up a little bit, and we'll see him start to breathe. Oh, there we go. He's starting to breathe now.
Oh, I see.
No, not
He
yet.
only took one breath.
No, there'll be more in a second. Here we go. There we go.
I see. He's starting
Now
to
he's
breathe.
taking some breaths up here.
These are
Yeah.
the breaths here, yeah.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
And you see that as his breathing starts, his blood pressure rises, and the flow of blood out of his heart increases a great deal.
So what you're saying is that this ultrasound equipment actually takes you inside anything,
Right inside the animal.
right inside.
That's right.
And would that work on me, for example?
Sure.
Yes?
Do you want to go?
Am I going to make noise like that other thing?
I don't know, you might.
Yeah?
I hope you don't, actually, because it's supposedly nice and silent.
What do I do?
I'd like you to take your shirt off. Sorry, take your jacket off. And I have some acoustic jelly here.
I hope so. That receptacle there frightened me for a minute.
Just a little dabble, do you?
Okay, I was just mainly wondered where you were going to put it. Yeah, go ahead, it's on.
Now, hopefully there's something going on in here. Give you a little squirt.
Don't tell me we're out of jelly.
No,
Take
no,
another
we've got
one.
plenty of jelly. That's
Okay.
not a problem. Now,
Now, what is this going to do?
Exactly the same as what happened in the eel. I'm going to put this pencil probe, which is the sort of one that the doctor would use at the clinic, onto your arm, and I'm going to try and record the noise coming through the artery in your arm there, if I can find it.
This noise will come through the artery in my arm.
This will prove once and for all that you're in fact alive.
Right.
Yeah, I got it.
Is that me?
That's you.
That's me.
I've lost
Just
it. I've lost it.
Wait a minute.
You're doing an entry.
keep going, you big thing. You keep going.
Isn't that great? I
think
could
that's
listen to that
great.
all night.
Could you? Well, we can't. Unfortunately, we can't stay here all night. Thank Dr. David Smith. We'll be back. Leon Burge has got a song for you in a minute.